We are the earth is us.
Yeah.
What we do to the planet, we do to ourselves. We do to ourselves, we do to the planet. And so to think of ourselves as these entities that exist apart from the planet is kind of ridiculous. We breathe the oxygen, we eat the food, we drink the water. You know, we have to really understand that there's no difference on a really physiological level and biochemical level and a spiritual level. Like, we're just not separate.
Bestie Mark Hyman. We're doing this. We're just, going for a cash bestie ride in the Cybertruck.
Yeah, first ever Cybertruck ride.
First ever Cybertruck ride. I know all y'all know who Mark Hyman is, but Dr. Mark Hyman is the king of functional medicine. He's written how many New York Times bestsellers now?
Oh, 15.
15 New York Times bestselling books.
Wait a month, it might be 16.
Food is medicine, yeah. And most recently, his most recent book is called
The Young Forever Cookbook's coming out June 4th. The sequel to the Young Forever book.
Young Forever. I mean, look, this is if this is not the exemplar of what Young Forever looks like.
I'm 95. It's pretty cool.
I know. He's moisture. It's gonna stay off. Okay, so first, let's just start basic rapid fire. What's your morning habits right now?
My morning habits. I love to wake up in the morning. It's always a good thing to be on this side of the grass. And then I generally meditate for 15 minutes or so, get myself grounded.
Cool. Like TM or what kind?
I do kind of a box breathing meditation to get myself centered, and then I do a sort of body check-in, awareness, gratitude meditation.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of get centered. If I have a little extra time, I love to journal for like 15, 20 minutes.
You're such a great writer.
Oh,
how did you become such a great writer?
I was riding a train when I was 17. I was in Cambridge. I was in Italy, and I was riding a train in Italy, and I sat down with this professor of English from Cambridge. And he said, a life not written down is not worth living.
Yes.
And he said, you want to write your life. And so I started keeping a journal, and I kept the journal for almost 50 years now.
How many journals do you have?
Oh God. Well, I used to keep the books, but now I started doing digital. So I have thousands and thousands of pages.
That's awesome. Yeah. I feel like you read us recently when we were in Montecito, an entry that you wrote, or like a paper that you wrote. Remember? It was
about liberation.
About liberation.
Yeah.
It was about liberation. It was so philosophical. It was incredible.
And trying to break through some of the old shackles of our minds that keep us from being joyful and happy and present, which all the old things that keep us stuck.
Amazing.
From our childhood, yeah.
Okay, just morning bathroom habit. You morning pooper?
Oh yeah, definitely morning pooper. And then I usually work out. Yeah. I'll do like a cardio workout if I have time. I'll do like 30-minute intense sort of interval band training.
Yep. 30 minutes.
Yep.
Pop.
30 minutes.
Bands.
But it's intense. And then I go for a sauna or steam and a cold dip in my bathtub. At home I have a nice steam shower and then I do my healthy aging shake.
Amazing.
After my cold dip, and my healthy aging shake is
What's
all kinds of goodies in it. So I have regeneratively raised goat whey. Goat whey is one of the best proteins you can get for muscle building, and as you get older, you want to build muscle, especially.
Yep.
So I do about 40 grams of goat whey that's regeneratively raised, and it's less inflammatory than regular.
And this is your product, Doctor's Pharmacy product?
No, it's not my product, no. But and then I put in creatine. I put in my own gut food product. It helps like a multivitamin for the gut with pre and probiotics and polyphenols. I put in something called urolithin A, which is a super regenerator of mitochondria and reduce inflammation, metabolic health. It's been extensively studied. It comes from pomegranate.
And can you feel the difference when you take?
Oh my God, yeah. When I do my routine at home, I notice I get more ripped, I get stronger. It's such a great routine.
And happens faster.
Yeah, it takes me like an hour and a half and maybe 2 hours, and I'm good to go for the day.
That's amazing.
Take my vitamins.
Have you tried different morning habits and you kind of got to this one, or?
Yeah, no, I think, it's, for me, always having a chance to ground in the morning and reset and set for the day is so important.
Yeah.
And when I feel like I've done those things, I feel like then
the rest of the day is gravy.
Yeah, and I've done the work to sort of put my investment in my health and my well-being and my mental health, and then I feel like I can do anything. And if I don't do that, I get antsy. If I don't exercise, if I don't take care of my body, if I don't stretch, if I don't do all those things, I actually notice physiologically. There's it's almost like energetically I feel more stressed, more anxious, more tense.
Yep.
Things are more difficult. But when I do that, I just feel like, it's more easeful.
Okay, so what's your vitamin stack? Like what's like, because I know you do mitochondrial support.
Oh, gosh,
like
I do
what's
a lot.
the?
I mean, I've had a lot of stuff, Nikki. You know, I've been sick with mercury poisoning, mold toxicity. I've had Lyme disease. So I take a big cocktail of stuff. But I take my multivitamin. I take a special fish oil called omega-3 Rejuvenate from Big Bold Health that has got all these anti-inflammatory compounds. I take my vitamin D, which has vitamin K2 as well.
Yeah.
I take stuff for...
What's vitamin K for?
Vitamin K is for blood clotting, for immune function, for bone health, for heart health. Yeah, it's really important. And a lot of us don't have the right microbiome, and so we can't make the vitamin D in our gut, unfortunately. So
even the sun's not enough.
Well, vitamin D and the sun definitely is not enough. It's unless you're out there like a lifeguard all day.
Right.
Forget it.
Really?
Yeah. Especially if you live in northern latitudes, if you have brown skin, if you don't get out much. I mean, you need to be out between 10 and 2 for 20 minutes, basically with nothing on your body, like maybe a bathing suit. You can put sunblock on your face for 20 minutes between 10 and 2 in the afternoon below Atlanta, basically on the latitude of. So it's really hard to get enough vitamin D. 80% of people are deficient. And I take a whole cocktail of stuff for longevity. I take NMN, I take urolithin A, I take my gut food probiotics, I take lipoic acid, I take a whole senolytic cocktail with lecithin and quercetin and green tea. I take CoQ10.
CoQ10?
Yeah, I take CoQ10.
Tell me, what's CoQ10 do again?
CoQ10 is sort of part of the helper for making energy in your cells. So you eat food and you breathe and it has to be turned into energy in your little mitochondria. And that's how we have energy. And it's one of the key steps. In order to make the energy, you need coenzyme Q10. So it's something that is great for energy. It's great for treating sort of all kinds of brain issues, cognitive issues, heart issues.
Great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And taking these vitamins, like, do you think it actually, because your body processes so much of it.
Yeah.
And does it really
Does it work? You need to test, not guess. And that's why I co-founded Function Health, to give people access to their own lab data to know what's going on. And we found like 67% of people who are health forward, these are not the average Americans who are eating at Disneyland.
Right.
The 67% are deficient in one or more nutrients at the minimum level to protect against deficiency disease. So how much vitamin C do you need to not get scurvy? Not very much. How much vitamin D do you need to not get rickets? Not very much.
Wow.
And people are 67% are low. It's vitamin D, it's iron, it's magnesium, it's folate. It's significant. And so a lot of people are walking around with low-grade dysfunction that they don't know they have. Is affecting the quality of health. So, I wish we lived in a world where we all hunted and gathered our own wild food. We were exposed to no toxins. We had no chronic stress. We drank pure clean water. We breathed clean air. We went to bed with the sun, woke up with the sun, and then we wouldn't need vitamins. We had all that. But like, we just have to deal with where we are in reality of human life right now. We need support.
So if there's like 5 things that I should take tomorrow.
What are the 5 vitamins? Yes, a multivitamin, fish oil, vitamin D, probiotics, and magnesium. It's easy.
Magnesium even in the morning?
Magnesium at night. I think magnesium at night. But,
okay.
But those 5, if everybody did that,
nailing it,
we'd be dramatically affecting the health of America.
Wow, that's
I mean, just to COVID alone, if and this was a large Israeli study, if people's vitamin D level was over 50, which is like less than 20% of the population,
wow,
or maybe more than less, there were no deaths from COVID, like 0.
How much vitamin D should people be taking?
Depends on the person, but the average person needs between 2,000 to 5,000 units a day of vitamin D. And then you need to just check your level. Some people are good absorbers, bad absorbers. I have a patient who needs 10,000 a day. I need to presume needs 1,000 a day. So it really depends on you. But it's between 2,000 to 5,000.
Function Health, place to test.
FunctionHealth.com/Mark to jump the wait list.
Yes, /Mark. Amazing. Okay, this is an important question. You are the doctor of poop. What are your pooping habits like?
I'm really good. I actually, I've had a lot of gut issues in the past. I was really healthy when I was growing up and young, but then I had mercury poisoning that messed up my gut, and then I had another issue with, mold and an antibiotic and C. diff, and so I've had really serious gut issues over time. But generally with my routine and the healthy diet I eat and the probiotics I take, I basically have a normal poop in the morning, usually one in the afternoon or nighttime, and I'm good to go. I'm never constant.
So once or twice a day?
Yeah. You probably should go twice a day.
That's dope. Yeah, I think I go twice a day.
Yeah, twice a day is a good number.
And they're like good poops?
That's why I call it number 2 for twice a day.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, bidet or toilet paper?
Bidet is the way to go, honestly. I mean, why are we cutting down trees? Why are we, sort of wiping our butt with, thousands and thousands and millions of rolls of toilet paper around the world when, most cultures, they actually just, if you go to, I travel, and I send you pictures when I travel, like I'm in, Morocco, or I'm like, and it's like, you go to a bathroom, there's no toilet paper, there's like a hose. There's a hose. I'm like, it's a little messy, but that's why Tushy's so great. You just turn the knob and it's aimed right at the right spot and you just go.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So you have a Tushy.
Many.
Yeah.
I have one of my own personal on my body, and then I have like, and then I have like, 3 in my house.
So
every bathroom.
So, like from a lens of just like hygiene and from a doctor's perspective, like what are the benefits of the day from your perspective?
Well, I mean, for women, it can decrease UTIs. It can reduce, hemorrhoids, yeast infections, just cleaner down there.
Bacterial vaginosis.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and wet wipes. Those actually strip away the natural oils from your behind.
Yeah, I don't really use those except at Burning Man.
Yeah, exactly. But you know the 99% wet wipes, that 1% is so full of chemicals.
Yeah, I know.
It's bullshit.
I get the natural ones, but I don't know.
I know those natural ones still. Anyways, yeah. Okay, what's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack generally are nuts. I love macadamia nuts, so it's just one of those things that if I'm traveling, it's high in calories, it's high in fat, it's high in the good fats, monounsaturated fats, high in protein.
So good fats,
nutrients.
Good fats. Just quick 1 second sentence on why is good fat? Like what's a good fat?
What are good fat? Well, it's stuff we all know. Olive oil, avocados, nuts and seeds, omega-3 fats. Those are all the really good
And your body needs it for
your brain health, for all your cell membranes. I mean, your brain is 60% made up of fat.
Wow.
And you need, every cell membrane is made up of fat. Your hormones are made up of fat.
Yeah.
So you need the right fats in your system.
100%. I like eating fat, so that's great. Okay, what's the silly thing you like to do for fun?
I mean, I like to put on the Grateful Dead really loud and just dance around and, have a good time.
We're about to go to
the Dead shows. At the Sphere.
At the Sphere in Vegas, baby. I can't wait. We are going to put our tie-dye on.
You've been to the Dead shows.
I've been to your Dead show at your house every birthday.
Oh, you never went to a Dead show?
No, I've actually been to a Dead show.
Oh, okay.
I've also been to, what's the other kind of dead like jam band? I've been to like a few of the different
Fish.
I've been to Fish.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dead's the OG.
The Dead's the thing, yeah. Okay. What is your take on money?
Money is energy, and I believe it needs to be free-flowing.
Yeah.
And my mother always taught me that money is energy. It's meant to be used, and what I found is the more I let it out, the more it comes back.
Yeah.
And so the more generous I am, the less tight I am around money, the more fearless I am, the more abundance shows up. And I don't really focus on money as a goal in my life. It's not like I'm going for money. I'm going for a change. I'm going for making impact in the world. I'm going for doing the right thing. And the more I do that, money just kind of
flows.
Coming. Yeah.
Amazing.
And by the way, I also have made a real concerted effort to live well within my means.
Yes.
And many people don't. And I try to save 80 to 90% of what I make and live on very little. And I don't have a lot of fancy stuff. I don't have fancy needs.
You got nice clothes though.
I basically was shopping at outlet stores until I had a girlfriend that says no more. And it took me to some expensive clothes shops. So I have
a few nice
leather jackets.
It's looking good, I'll tell you that much. Okay, so how do you let money impact your life?
It's really, for me, ultimately about freedom. I wanted to feel free and have my life not be governed by having to do something, but by wanting to do something. And so I've sort of built my life in a way that has given me financial freedom, and I've worked really hard at it, but I've also really enjoyed life along the way. So.
Yeah.
And I think, the way I think about
like when you're a hippie eating just like carrots and hummus, you're totally fine too. Just writing.
I lived in a little yurt with no electricity, running water, just 2x4 boards, and I had to walk a quarter mile to get my water, chop my own wood, grow my own food, put on an outdoor fire, and it was I think $50 a month I used for the squatters' rights to stay in that little place. Wow, look at the fox!
Whoa!
Yeah. And
we're gonna drive a little bit.
Yeah, and so I feel like I also find that what is more valuable to me is not things, it's experiences.
Yep.
So I will spend a lot of money on experiences
Yep.
and with people and with family and community. Like, we took a whole group of our friends to Italy, and it gave me so much joy to create an experience.
It was the best time of my life, honestly. The castle.
And you DJ'd a great set.
I will
great
never
Gatsby night.
forget that time. I want more. You do it every year, please.
Definitely.
Okay, so function health. Give me the just scoop on it, like the quick scoop
Yeah.
on why is it important now?
Well, there's this moment in history where we're coming upon a convergence of our change in our medical thinking about how to treat disease by looking at the body as a system, with technology like AI machine learning, and with the ability to get enormous amounts of data on you, like, terabytes of data on each person through their lab work, through imaging, through the genomics, through the microbiome, through biosensors, through all their medical records. And for the first time, we're able to actually take all that data and put it into a health portal where you can learn about yourself in a way that is linear over time, tracks your changes, and helps you up-level your health by understanding what's going on at any moment in your life and your body, and getting insights from the top science in the world, from the top scientists, the top doctors, the top insights, and really give you a co-pilot for your health, for your life.
Amazing. I use Function Health, and
it's
the
portable.
best.
It's like, usually you have to go through
$5 per year.
insurance, you have to ask your doctor, they don't want to do the tests, it's like a pain in the ass, they don't know how to interpret them. And this way you can get,
like 27 vials of blood for like $500, and
it's
amazing.
like $15,000 usually retail, but to get it for $4.99, it's a pretty good deal.
It's insane.
And it allows us to sort of give people and be empowered around their own health. Because I feel like the old medical edifice of the doctor and the hospital and the clinic and the firewalls you have to go through to get anything done is it's kind of old school.
That's it. I agree with that totally. Okay, what is your take on power?
Great question. I mean, I think power is something I'm not that interested in unless it's in the service of doing something good in the world. And I think, power comes easily and goes quickly. And I think people are often driven by motives that are not in integrity. And so I think I'm cautious of people who just seek power for power's sake.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, what about love? What's your take on love?
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I'm for it. It's definitely the central theme of my life.
Yeah.
Giving it, sharing it, creating it, making it a priority. It's definitely the most important thing. I mean, health and love. What else do you need?
That's it. And love includes friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Last couple of questions. What, from your current perspective, is a secret to a great relationship?
Full honesty and integrity with yourself.
With yourself, beautiful.
Yeah, with yourself and your partner. I mean, just being in the process of meeting the moment and not trying to shape whatever it is that you want it to be, but actually seeing what it is and meeting who your partner is as they are, and not trying to change or fix them, but just actually just loving them as they are. And also the other secret is, I think, being whole in yourself, so you don't have a need for the other person to
fill a hole,
which I had for many years, and I filled that hole, and now I don't need the person to fill it, and I can just play and love and have fun.
Yeah, it's
a big one.
That's a big one. Okay, last couple of questions. Why should humans help sort of kind of create a relationship with the planet?
Well, we are the planet, Miki.
Right.
I mean, we are the Earth. The Earth is us. What we do to the planet, we do to ourselves. We do to ourselves, we do to the planet. And so to think of ourselves as these entities that exist apart from the planet is kind of ridiculous. We breathe the oxygen, we eat the food, we drink the water. We have to really understand that there's no difference on a really physiological level and biochemical level and a spiritual level. Like, we're just not separate.
We went to the Amazon rainforest over New Year's for almost 2 weeks, and we communed with the Amazon people, the Slapper tribe and the Ashura tribe, and most of them had never been to the modern world. Yeah. And the way they commune with nature has been truly a remarkable experience. Yeah. He ate worms.
Grubs. They were grubs.
Oh, grubs.
They were about this big.
Oh, and they had they tasted like what, eggs?
Slimy. They were kind of slimy but satisfying.
They were like wiggling.
Miki wouldn't eat it.
I couldn't. I was like, right here, and I was like, I can't. I almost threw up. Okay.
My favorite pictures of your sister looking at me eating the worm. She's like.
Okay. The last question is, like the vegans versus meat eaters, like this whole conversation around protein and how all of my vegan friends say no one ever talks about protein because protein's in everything. And so like why all of a sudden like the meat eating world is all about protein, but there's like protein in everything. There's no real deficiency in protein. That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
So my curiosity from you is like, what would you say? What could I say to them about protein and meat versus veg?
Well, I wrote a whole book called The Pegan Diet, which is a joke, right? Paleo vegan.
Yeah.
Right? And it was trying to kind of break down some of the unnecessary disagreements, and so you agree on like 80 or 90% of everything. The only thing you agree about is where to get the protein.
Right.
Beans and grains or animal protein.
Right.
Everything else you agree on.
Right.
Eat whole food, eat the right fats, don't eat junk, and eat lots of vegetables, and don't eat dairy. It's really pretty identical. And what people have to understand is that there are 3 macronutrients: protein, fat, and carbohydrates. There is no biochemical requirement for carbohydrates. We could never eat a single carb in our life, and our bodies are perfect and fine.
Wow.
So there's zero need for that. Second, well, we do need a lot of things in them. We need the fiber, we need the vitamins and minerals, we need the phytochemicals, but we don't actually need carbohydrates. Fat we need on a very small level. We need omega-3 and some other essential omega-6 fats, but we need them in small amounts, like gram amounts, very small, like milligram amounts. Protein is the only macronutrient we need in large amounts. We need 90 to 100 grams a day, usually per person, depending on their size and weight, and sometimes even more depending on what you're doing. And so it's really important for building tissue. It's what our DNA uses to actually create proteins for everything. All our DNA is make proteins, and you need the amino acids to build them. You need to build muscle. And one of the biggest things as a doctor I see is this incredible disease that nobody talks about. Is called sarcopenia. It's a huge problem, which means muscle loss, and it probably affects.
You don't have that problem.
I mean, I work at it. Like you have to eat enough protein, you have to strength train, and I think as we get older, you lose muscle progressively after about 35, and you don't have the hormonal support. And if you don't eat enough protein, and you don't actually have the right quality protein, which has to have enough of an amino acid called leucine, which is only found in animal foods at high levels to actually turn on the muscle building.
Force of nature regenerative meats.
Yes, sir, for sure. Now you can take vegan protein and add in amino acids. So you can jack it up, but you're going to be eating highly processed protein powders to get enough protein.
Right.
And you have to eat like 6 cups of rice to get what you'd get in 4 ounces of chicken, or 2 cups of beans. And people just can't eat that volume. And what happens is as you get older, you lose muscle, and it's harder to build muscle. So protein is extremely important for building muscle, which is important for your hormonal health, for your immune health, for your brain health, for your metabolic health. So, cortisol goes up if your muscle goes down, which is a stress hormone. Your growth hormone goes down, your testosterone goes down, your insulin levels go up, your blood sugar goes up, your cholesterol gets worse, and you get more frail and weak and less able to function. So, I think, there are vegans who can maintain their muscle mass, but you have to really be very diligent about it, and you have to take a lot of processed protein.
Well, I like protein, so that's great. Okay, last question. What is your take on friendship, and why is it important?
I mean, I think I said this at my birthday party, but I think you can measure your wealth by the quality and depth of your friendships.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is really what life's about, is love and friends and community, and that has been shown over and over to be one of the most essential elements for longevity and health. Loneliness is one of the biggest killers out there. I think we have an epidemic of disconnection, isolation, and loneliness, and I don't think people spend enough time investing in their friendships. So, I make a huge effort, to invest in those friendships. I, flew down to Austin just to be with my friends for a special event. I mean, squeezed it in between a bunch of things.
Here we are.
But it's a party. So I think,
I love it. I'm so happy. That makes me so happy. All right. This is Dr. Mark Hyman, co-founder of Function Health, author of almost now 15 New York Times almost 16 New York Times best-selling books. Young Forever, most recently, Young Forever cookbooks coming out. I'm Miki Agrawal. I'm the founder of TUSHY, and I'm just I'm so excited about doing this with you.
Yeah,
I love you.
Love you.
All right.